going on, people? What's up? Let's see what we got going on here. Hopefully this is actually live right now. Yes, we are live. Okay. What's going on? It's Thursday night. I'm going to give everybody a chance to come on in and hang out. Once you're here, say hello in the chat, and then we'll get started shortly with episode 8, the final episode of the vlogger season from Solve for Why, Poker Out Loud. And then immediately following that will be the live stream, episode 66, with Jody and me. If you are watching this on replay, please click the like button. That will help my channel a bit, and hopefully we'll get back to doing some regular vlogs soon, and then maybe some other fun things on Thursday nights before the regular live stream. We'll see what happens. Let me know if the sound is good here, guys. Let me know if you have any problems hearing me or seeing me or anything like that. What's up, Matthew? First in. Kilted. What's up, Mike? My son. I am your daddy. And yeah, we'll just give everybody a chance to come on in. If you guys are watching on the live stream or you're watching on the replay, a couple different things here to plug with you guys. The Raising the Nuts podcast comes out every Wednesday, 5 a.m. Eastern. We just put out episode 90 this week, episode 90. So we're getting very close to 100 episodes. Closing in on the end of season 2 here. When we get to episode 104 will be the last episode of season 2. We do 52 episodes a year, one every week. And we have some bonus episodes in there as well. This past week, we talked about, what did we talk about? Oh, we talked about sleep. Well, we played Jody Thinks. We talked about how hard it is to get sleep. Talked about the chaos going on in our life right now. Had some fun. Had some fun conversations like we always do, some serious conversations. So definitely give that a watch if you can. And if you want any merchandise, Raising the Nuts merchandise, or if you'd like to get any other cool poker shirts, most comfortable clothing you could ever imagine, you can go to pokerrags.us to get to that. Jody's talking to you guys, Mike and Matt. Mike wants to know if I'm going to the WSOP this year. That's the plan. I haven't really looked into the schedule too much. I know it's while the kids are in school, so I don't know what kind of issues that will present for us as far as travel goes and what we're going to do with that, but we'll see when we get there. I'm going to switch over real quick to my other internet. I always forget to... Oh, no, it's on there. Okay, never mind. We're good. What's up, Tom? How's it going? Happy you made it here live. I hope you're clicking that like button. I'm sure you are. We're going to give everybody a minute or two to slide in here. There's a little bit of a longer intro this week for the Solve for Why thing, so with a little kind of like an ad read, basically. So I'm going to let that play now while we're waiting for everybody to come in. We'll just hit that play on that, and then once everybody gets in here, we'll pause it and get going.
Whatever range that you would apply for the button also applied under the...
Are you bored?
It's like well constructed.
I'm bored, and I don't even exist. Studying poker does not have to...
Let me know how that sound is, guys.
Through simple and entertaining whiteboard animation, we can teach you the ins and outs of becoming a profitable player. And whether it's poker, fitness, or fighting a bear, knowing where to begin can be overwhelming. You need guidance. You need a trainer. Quick Studies is broken down into 6 courses, each building upon the last so that the concepts are clear, consistent, and accessible. Why suffer through the noise of a million different sources when you can stick to a streamlined path and level up at your own pace? And you know what the best part is? It's free.
All right, here comes the intro. Music, the sound okay for you guys on this? I'm going to pause it here. while we let some more people come on in. I'm going to tweet this out, hopefully get it out to more people, and then we'll get started with some of these hands. There's one big pot played at the end that I've seen people break down quite a bit. The last hand of the night, actually. So we'll get into that one, I'm sure. And I didn't really... Let me see how many hands. We started at hand number 84. Yeah, I think hand number 84 is the first hand here. So there's actually only 3... There's only 7 hands left in the night. I assume they show all 7 hands in this episode. And I only participate in a couple of them. 2 of them, I think. So, what's going on, Daniel Kim? Sorry, my social media marketing skills are not on point. I'm gonna post it on Twitter right now. If you're just joining, obviously hit the like button. We got to get more people in here before I can start breaking down this stuff, because my hands that I play here are in the very beginning. Okay. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just going to tweet this out and then we'll get started. Okay, tweeted. Jody will be here tonight. She took last week off the live stream, but she's getting Andrew in the tub now, and then she'll be back. All right, we're just going to get started, guys. You guys that are here are the hardcore people. You'll get to see the hands that I play. Anybody who misses it, we'll watch the replay, whatever. No big deal. Let me answer some questions here. What's up, Tom? Tom said, do you think it's possible for a person to just naturally run bad? Yeah, so every person is going to run somewhere on the spectrum from good to bad. And especially in live poker, you'll never really get to see the long term because you don't play enough hands to see it. So you could just run bad for an extended period of time. And natural selection, or whatever you want to call it, weeds people out too, because the people who run really bad early on in their poker careers or when they're playing poker tend to not return. So anybody who's been in poker for a long time probably ran pretty well in the beginning. Although if you've been for a really long time, like I have, you didn't really have to run very well because everybody was so bad. So nobody had any idea what they were doing. So it wasn't really about how you ran. But if you've been in, if you started in poker 10 years ago and you ran bad to begin with, you probably didn't stick around. So yeah, everybody runs kind of differently. And the people who tend to make it for the longest are the people who run the best for the most part. You can't control how you run, but you can control how you react to it, obviously. That's one thing. But there's only so much you can overcome, especially if you are playing in full ring games. Where if you're playing in shorthanded games and there's more opportunities to use your skill and to win pots without making a hand, then it's you can overcome how you run a lot of the time. So, and then the other thing is there's people run different ways as well. It's not just how you do when you get all in or if you make the good hands or not. And also is how you run in what seat you got at the table and what table you got sat at with what type of players. If you're running really hot and getting sat with really bad players, your win rate's going to be higher. So, or if you're choosing to sit with bad players, then your win rate's going to be higher. So, all right. So we got some people in here. What's up, Mike Trout? Everybody talking about how I'm a luck box. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that. All right, let's get started. This is me. See me reaching on my shirt. My microphone kept getting jacked up.
I've definitely been very active, so it's nice to get this hand on the button. It's going to be a spot where I'm definitely going to be putting in the 3-bet because it can be perceived that I could be pretty light here when I have a high value hand like this. Definitely want to put some money into the pot. So, Mr. Conrad, we're going to make it 100.
What's up, Steve? So very standard 3-bet here by Johnny. Marley has a hand that can 4-bet.
All right, so my hand plays pretty bad out of position. It's not ideal. Definitely could consider 4-betting, but just because of game flow reasons, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah, I think this is probably the good choice most of the time with King 10 off. So you can 4-bet some of the times, but yeah, mostly just folding. All right, so this next hand is yes, Jody will be joining us.
Mistake earlier opening this up.
This next hand I think is
won't make the same mistake.
maybe the furthest off I was as far as thinking through a situation. Jody will be with us after bath time and bedtime.
So this is actually the first time that we've had blind versus blind with it folding me in the small blind. So I am going to be playing limp strategy. I won't be raising it all from the small blind.
All right. So to be fair to me, I am very out of sorts with no limit strategy in blind versus blind play, and it wasn't really. I didn't even really go into any depth in thinking like how I was going to construct my ranges against Landon. So because of that, and because this was the first time it happened in 80 hands, I wasn't sure what I want to do. So I went with just going with the full limp strategy instead of trying a mixed strategy of raising some and limping some, or just raising only and stuff like that. So I felt like that was the simplified strategy because that's the most recent strategy that I had played when I was playing 6 max no limit, and the one that I would be most comfortable with doing. I don't really have a strong argument as to which is better or worse or whatever. I think it might have actually been more simplified just to open this, and also given how tight Landon had played so far, I didn't expect him to really come after me aggressively. Although, I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play his ranges correctly, of course. So it's not like an area where from the small blind that I'm going to be making a bunch of money or anything. So I just ended up going with a limp, which is fine. I would be limp calling if he raised.
Against Landon's big blind, so I'm just going to limp with everything and go from there.
Is the video quality bad for everyone else, like Tom said here?
With this hand, just gonna check.
It's interesting that Landon didn't go into any detail here with the 10-4 offsuit and to why he checked it. Every other spot he went into depth about what his plan was going to be, and this is one spot where he didn't really talk about like what hands he would be opening, what hands he'd be raising against my limps, what hands he would be checking, what hands, what sizing he would be using, and what his plan would be. So I'm interested to hear what those thoughts would have been. No chopping here, Mike. No chopping.
So I'm going to be checking this flop, and I'll probably check call on this board.
Okay, so first of all, Ben Adler, thank you very much for the $1.99. You are also my hero. I can shrink the face box a little bit. Yes, I can for sure. Let me shrink that for you. Here we go. Let's do that. Make that a little smaller. There you go. All right. We'll get back to the analysis of his hand in a second. What's up, Dalton? 140 in Hawaii. That's amazing. And thank you very much for the kind words, Daniel. All right. So I shrunk the face box. Okay. So queen jack offsuit on this flop. Do I want to be leading here? No. Why? I don't have any of these like crappy 2-pair hands. And my hand is going to be okay as a check call. I'm going to have the best hand a decent amount of time. I'm going to have live over cards. If not, and it's just kind of like we just check call and go from there. And yeah, that's how to play it. Let's see what Landon says.
Okay, so we have a hand that has not that much showdown, but we turn very well, turning a bunch of gutters, turning over cards to the board with the pair, turning a 4, which is going to probably beat most of his hands that do check call. We're just going to bet small here for one big blind and expect him to fold a good bit, and if we get checkers, we just fold very easy.
Okay.
So he's obviously going to have some of these really crappy hands here, like 9 deuce and 7 deuce, and some 7x, 9x. With 2 overcards, I think I just have an easy call, and then I can turn some straight draws that I can play aggressively if I want to. One
point that I missed out on here, and this is why I said I think my thinking was the most flawed of any of the hands, and this is just a very small pot. But I wasn't considering the fact that he would just be stabbing here with 100% of range, which would include hands like some of the really crappy hands like 8-4 offsuit, and hands like he has like 10-4 offsuit that turn good straight draws. So those are his air hands, and you'll see for the rest of the hand that I did not include that in my analysis, and I think that's some flawed thinking. And like I was thinking more purely just based on what hands would stab here on flop that have equity. Hands like 10-8 and 8-6 and 8-5 and Jack-8 and hands like that.
Okay, this is one of those turns where we do have a diamond, which is nice if we did decide to continue barreling. So we'll have some bluffs on the river. But with a hand like this, it's nicer to have it as a river bluff than it is a turn bluff, because we have like absolutely zero equity in this spot, and I don't need to reach very far to find bluffs again, because it's just a very wide range versus a very wide range. To where if I have like flush draws themselves, gutters themselves, open-ended like 6-8 and then 10-8, if I did decide to check it back, those would be really nice bets. But this one I can just check and then bluff the river if he checks to me.
Alright, so here's where my flaw in thinking comes, if you guys want to follow along.
When he checks back turn here, I expect him to have some sort of showdown type hand, like a deuce X hand or some 9X hands. I think he would probably just continue bluffing with his straight draw hands, which leaves me in a spot where I don't think I am going to bluff this hand. I think I'm just going to check and probably lose to a 2X hand. I think that he would just follow through on the turn with those bluffs, so I'm going to go ahead and check.
So, like I said here, I'm not accounting for a lot of the times what his turn hands are those showdown hands that I mentioned, like the deuce X and 9X hands. But then a lot of these hands that stab for one big blind that have that don't have equity, have good backdoor equity, but don't turn any equity, and are those airball hands like the 10-3 offsuit type hands, or 10-4 offsuit, or 10-5 offsuit. All those type hands are the hands that bet flop, check back turn, and those mix well as the bet check bet hands. So I didn't account for those because I was just saying, I'm thinking to myself, on turn, I had discounted all those just stab hands and assumed that his flop bet hands were just hands that had strong equity in a sense of like a gut shot or something like that, discounting those other ones. So I still, against those hands though, I still don't really need to bluff because queen high is going to be good against the vast majority of them. There's going to be a few king high hands in there, but not too many really. So it's mostly hands that are jack high, 10 high type hands. Even a hand like 4-5 maybe, or 4-3. Now obviously in this case, those ones also hit this river here.
Well, rivering a pair, we're going to go for value and try to get by from ace high. Having a 10 is really nice because it's less likely that he has a bluff himself and has a showdown value hand, maybe like a deuce, like a suited wheel, and then maybe some ace high hands that got sticky on the flop as they should versus a one big blind bet. So there is 10, there's 40 in the pot, so I'm going to go for a 2/3 size, or 3/4, so let's go 30, and expected call by ace high, a good bit.
I think it's going to be pretty heavily weighted towards value here when he takes check bet check line. Or I'm sorry, bet check bet line. I guess occasionally he can have some his worst hands that can give up on turns, like some 5-6 hands. I guess that would be his bluffs, but I can't really call with so.
So yeah, I think there on the river, I think I actually should have considered a little bit more because I think there's going to be a lot of those zero equity hands that take this line. For the bet check bet, but again, he's probably got enough value that I don't have to call queen high, and I can just call some of my deuce X and then maybe some ace high hands. It'd be fine. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of confusing once you get to that spot as what we do. What's up, Presley? How's it going? What's up, Mr. Spaceman? Mr. Spaceman said, my experience is that true equilibrium strategies involve a lot more checking than people actually do, including people that think they play balance, especially when they play live. Yeah, I can agree with that. And Daniel said, Trevor, is there any world pre-flop that if you'd open my queen jack, I'm assuming you're saying, to 30, that Landon should fold with 10-4 off being in the big blind? I think he's probably... to 30, I'm not sure if he calls or folds. To 40, he would probably fold. I think he probably folds, but I don't know. But that's obviously neither here nor there. My whole strategy was just going to involve me limping at that point. So I know we just spent a long time in this hand, but I think that was a spot where I actually got lucky to not get outplayed, in the sense that if the river was a 3, I was still check folding, and he would have come up with the bluffs there. Assuming he would have come up with the same line there as a bluff. And I actually got pretty lucky, in the sense that, I called on the flop with the best hand, check turn, and I folded the worst hand on the river, when I would have been making a mistake against him otherwise. A mistake against him.
I mostly just tried to listen to stuff that was like reasonably upbeat and reasonably, consistent in the volume level. So I ended up listening to like ELO or Electric Light Orchestra pretty much on repeat for the whole like billion hours that we were recording. So yeah, they have a deep catalog.
Podcast.
What's up, Merrick?
I didn't expect that I'd be listening to podcasts during the show. Kind of thing, I was trying to distract myself. It was really hard to purposefully not look at people and read lips or read body language or read anything.
I basically just picked like a lounge EDM playlist on Spotify, but then there was like halfway through the session, my wife like tried to listen to her Spotify, and she logged me out of my Spotify. So I ended up just playing the music that was on my phone.
Gotta lay low down, Johnny.
High energy.
Come on.
I DJ on occasion on the side, so it was like, let's get the party started music.
A bunch of different music. I had some Juice WRLD. I had some Thrice. I had Linkin Park, and then I had a bunch of maybe some Taylor Swift in there. Maybe I have an eclectic taste in music, so there's definitely some like kind of romantic songs in there, I'll say.
Listen to country. Just strictly country the whole time. It's my favorite genre, and yeah, just jamming out to it.
No. How is that man? How does he do it? How does he do what he does and listen to country at the same time?
Yeah, just a lot of like good vibes and like just.
I like this, Daniel. You gonna like to hear in the playlist?
I was listening to a lot of like anime openings. I was listening to a bunch of like some rap music. Just kind of like high octane, like head pumpy stuff.
Can't question the playlist, man. Can't question the playlist. Come on now.
Alright, gonna be opening up this hand. Still gonna be sticking with my standard sizing.
I was disappointed in myself in this hand. I have the King 3 suited, the Crabbler. I just not muck it. I gotta attack here with the King 3 suited. Not normally. I think I was just tired at this point, honestly. This is well into the session. I should I need to play that hand probably.
I feel like usually.
What's up, Anthony?
Honestly, 50-50. Calling would be easy, but 3-betting real aces is probably the better route.
It is not the better route, Rampage.
Issue is that I don't know, less playability since it's offsuit, so we can easily put in 20, see a flop, and kind of play this a little bit more standardly, as one would call it. So we'll do that.
Yeah, open here from the cutoff fine. Call is probably fine too. Matt's reasoning here is very good. Listen to this reasoning for betting.
Alright, so on this board, I'm not going to be c-betting 100% of range or really anywhere
close. So hands like second pair can be good checkbacks, but I think that with the nut kicker, I get called by so many worse second pair. There's also more straight draws available than if I had like 9-8, 10-8, Jack-8 kind of holding where I block some of the straight draws. So with this hand, I am going to start going for some value, a little bit over half pot.
So that's a subtle difference that a lot of people don't understand, like which combinations to bet with middle pair here on the flop, and the reasonings for betting ace-8 over betting a hand like 9-8 or 10-8 or jack-8 with the straight draw availability for your opponent plus the backdoor availability to you where there's less turn cards that are troublesome is really important consideration.
So I guess the issue with
and he chooses a sizing that represents what his plans are for post flop. So because he's not range betting here, like he said, because he's not betting his entire range, he can bet a little bit larger. So he's betting 2/3 pot, whereas if he was going to be betting his entire range on this board, he can bet something more like 1/3 pot or 1/4 pot because he's betting more often.
This is that we're going to play this a little bit more face up and not have really much room to bluff or do anything when we totally whiff, so we're out.
Marek's talking about his spews pre-flop here in the chat. I like it. All right, here's my last hand that I get to play on the stream here, guys.
I have an easy open here. Cutoff.
30.
Alright. I think we're just going to continue the theme of 3-betting. This hand should probably be... This hand should probably do pretty well against the cutoff opening range, so although it does suck that we are in the small blind, we're just going to keep up the aggression that we have so far. Seems like it's been working okay. Let's do 4x to 120.
120?
I can go a couple different ways here. I can either flat or 4-bet. I'm going to mix in a 4-bet here just because I feel like it. It's getting towards the end of the night and it's spicy.
Okay, so a couple different things here. My hand, is it a good candidate to 4-bet? Nah, not really. But a couple different things working for me here. 1, we only have a few hands left in the night. I know that. 2, Rampage has gotten crushed so far in the session. 3, I didn't think he had a particularly strong hand here, just from my feel of the situation. And when we're this deep, it becomes very difficult for people to figure out how to navigate because they're not used to getting 4-bet, first of all. Ethan certainly is not used to getting 4-bet so frequently in this spot. He's not comfortable just flatting pre-flop out of position with this type of hand, even though we're really deep. It becomes very uncomfortable to figure out what hands you want to just shove for, 230 big blinds, what hands you want to 5-bet, what sizing would you choose to 5-bet to. So it puts them in situations where it's really uncomfortable. So when you know that that person's going to be uncomfortable in that situation, and if he does flat, my hand is okay, whatever, it doesn't even really matter post-flop. Does my hand play fine as a flat? Sure, certainly does. It can play fine as a flat. It was just more so that in this moment, I felt like 4-bet was going to get through quite a bit.
325.
And this is the issue that I don't run into when I play my normal 1-3-2-5s, but we run into it here. With the 4-bet, we're kind of handcuffed, especially out of position, to fold our pretty marginable 3-bet hands. I mean, this just plays pretty horribly post, so, and out of position. There's just no reason for us to continue, but, just got caught 3-betting blight this time.
I think it's important for people to understand that we're not looking at each other's mouths, because I see that's in the comments a lot. You know, we're not trying to lip read, or we're not doing anything. But what I do. How is it possible? This is the eighth episode of this. This is the 4th season of this, right? And every single video, there's still multiple people commenting about how you can read each other's lips. The best lip reader will win this. Or how do they not hear each other? It blows my mind. It blows my mind. I can't get it. Even when a lot of times when I am playing live, I am just looking at everyone's hands. And so when I'm scanning around the table and looking at the chips and people's hands, so that's what I was doing during the session. And when you've played for such a long period of time and you have that intuition, you can just kind of get a sense for what is happening and how you feel things are going to play out. Yeah, that's, I'm a field player. Okay, a couple questions here. First of all, Marek, your story is awesome. I love it. Second of all, Daniel Cam, not to sound condescending, but you seem to genuinely like Rampage and how he puts himself out there, and he has a lot of potential, as do I. Would you consider coaching him if he was ever to ask? Probably not, just because I don't really want to do any coaching right now. So yeah, it's just more of a time thing. Like, my schedule is really, really packed right now with all the stuff that I have going on. So that's the most of the reason. But if I didn't have as much stuff going on right now, then sure, I wouldn't mind coaching him. I definitely think, it depends on what he wants to get out of poker, obviously. If he wants to get better at poker, then he should definitely work on his game, obviously. He doesn't necessarily have to get coaching. He just has to figure out, how to work on his game, how he's going to improve. If he just wants to make videos and stick with what he's doing, playing, the 1-3, 2-5 games that he's accustomed to playing, and occasionally shot taking, then by all means, he should just stick to doing that. And realistically, I think his videos do really well. One, because he's consistent with putting out content, but two, because he is just clicking buttons a lot of times, and that's really entertaining for people. And it's almost kind of like the Howard Stern effect, where people just kind of want to see what he's going to do next, because it makes them feel better about how bad they are. Realistically, that's what it is. The reason he has so many haters in the comments about how bad he is because all the people that are commenting to him about how bad he is are also terrible at poker. Not to say that Rampage is terrible at poker, but these are people that are worse than him at poker that can see somebody putting themselves out there and then be like, yeah, this guy's awful, look at him. That's just how it is. So, as far as getting engagement on content, I think he's better served by just randomly getting in there and spewing off, or randomly getting in there and getting stacked, or playing some absurd hand, or taking the pot that he played at the Golden Nugget that was a $16,000 pot in a 1-2 game is amazing, and a hand that I would never be involved in that way, because I would have never played the hand like he did. So yeah. Anthony said, did we talk about your small blind limp strat yet? I saw Berkey in the live chat disagree with it unless it was ante, but looks like an either way versus Landon to me. Yeah, so I talked about it. I said that that was my worst played hand of the entire session. And I didn't have a clear strategy going in as to what my small blind play was going to be. And so I just went with what I had done most recently in my No Limit 6-Max games when I had played them, a year and a half ago, which was a limp strategy. So I just went with what I was most comfortable with, even though it might not have been the optimal strategy against Landon or for this lineup or whatever. Yeah, Brian said, Daniel, poker coaching is never worth the money you can charge, so people coach for various reasons, but it's not or should be for money. Very true. All right, so this is the start of a couple of...
we're on the button, probably going to be...
Oh, wait, no, this is a different hand. Sorry.
Seems a little wide, but we should be able to play it in position just fine. Once again, I'm expecting a 3-bet, and then we'll cross that river to get there.
So here's the thing, is if you're expecting a 3-bet with Queen 8 offsuit, should you be opening it? But I think he's just paying attention to how aggressive the game is. It's the fine hand to open on the button.
Frustration out of Ethan right now.
And that's it.
Definitely had a rough go of it. And while I do like this hand, button versus big blind as a 3-bet, might be kind of Might be kind of nice to flat here and under-rip our hand and play post-flop with Ethan. Either way is fine. Probably better to raise, but we're gonna have some fun and play post with Ethan.
So I think what Johnny's saying there actually is basically that if somebody doesn't barrel situations aggressively enough, and that's the thing is actually pretty interesting, is like, it's funny, you see people talk about how like Ethan is known for spewing off and stuff like that, but if you noticed here, and maybe it's just because he's a little, like if he's intimidated playing with players or whatever, he doesn't have very strong barrel tendencies, especially not like 3-street barrel or like a plan for the cards that he's going to barrel. So those type of opponents, when you have those type of opponents, you can call far more frequently because you're going to get the showdown more often, or you're going to have more bluff opportunities because if they are the one and done type where they'll stab flop, you can float flop out of position, bet river when it turns goes check check if you with your bluffs very easily. It becomes very, very easier to play post flop and maneuver. Whereas if you have an opponent who you know will play their ranges correctly and barrel appropriately with the right amount of hands, you have to be on your game to understand how to construct your ranges properly so that you're not too wide and then therefore being exploited by people who are going to play aggressively.
Seeing a lot of paired boards, and queen high here, I feel like sometimes, I don't really know if Johnny's going to be 3-betting. I'm just going to assume Johnny's going to be 3-betting a lot of ace X's when it's big blind versus button, so I feel like effectively sometimes I can serve this queen high holding just like ace high and play it almost exactly like ace high, I guess, and see how it goes. I'm kind of making this up as I go, but we're going to once again experiment and bet a pretty small bet on the flop here. Just kind of put pressure on hands worse than mine to maybe make a call or just see what happens. So there's 60. 15 again works. Let's see what happens.
So again, if you'll see here, these really small c-bets that work, that are very effective, as a sizing, when you're going to be betting your entire range, I'd be really curious to see if he had chosen to do the same thing with a hand like pocket eights or king 10 or all these other hands that he's going to have in his range. Because my guess, based on the way that I felt at the table, as you saw last week from the sizing tells that I picked up, was that he really wasn't balancing this appropriately. And you could really, and this is the same thing I talked about last week, and you see it everywhere now because there's a trickle-down effect. As people study more and they use solvers and they understand that small bets work really well on certain board textures, now that trickles down and other people see that, people doing that, and then they start to emulate. It's just like when you're playing in a tournament and there's a considered raise size that people agree upon, even though without they're actually agreeing on it. Everybody's making it 500, so then the next guy makes it 500. Well, this trickles down, and people start to do it, but they don't understand why they're doing it. So they'll do it with these hands, but then they'll just do it like, oh yeah, I have a queen high here, I'm going to bet 15. But then when you actually have a hand, you go back to the way that you always played, like, oh, I have a hand here, I have a good hand, I'm going to bet, I need to build a pot. And so you see this happen so often, and people just become massively imbalanced with their sizings.
Definitely one of those flops where not much change between pre-flop and post-flop. If I had the best hand pre-flop, I'd likely have the best hand post-flop. Obviously, my specific hand isn't great for the board. Probably can't call down multiple streets, but for sure calling one, especially for $15, possibly calling two depending on what he does in the turn, but just take it one street at a time. Easy call here.
Thank you for the kind words, Merrick. Very nice of you, man. Appreciate it. So again, we got to try to speed through this because I realize how far we don't have that much time left here, and there's a lot still left to go here. But I'm saying all these things. How do I think that Ethan should play his hand? Well, in his case, I would bet small with his hand, and then you can go a couple different ways. When you bet small, you're going to get called by a wider range, including a lot of ace-high hands. We don't have an ace-high hand in our hand, so that makes it a good candidate to go for another small bet on turn, or to check back turn and bet river, and rep some hands like, you know, eights through queens, if we're going to choose to go with that. If we're going to choose to bet our entire range on flop, and then check turn and bet river for value. That's how you can approach it. I tend to kind of simplify things usually in these spots, and with this exact hand, I might go like really small flop, medium turn, and then big river. It depends. There's a lot of different situations that kind of come up, and how you want to figure out how to play this spot exactly.
I think when he calls this, I feel like now we're just trying to figure out if queen high has enough showdown
It
to
doesn't.
check back or bluff at this and continue barreling on the turn. That's really end of the day, and just trying to figure out how light he's calling me and see if there's enough showdown in queen high. I think that's what we're gonna do, and just check back. I've realized I don't really do much checking when I'm in position, so this seems like a good time to mix in a check and see what happens on the river.
Considering check back the turn, it's toss up whether or not I have the best hand here. I don't want to lead the river though. I think that he's definitely not in the mood to fold a hand that's better than mine, and my hand has just enough showdown value that I can check and expect him to check back a reasonable amount of time, and we can actually win the spot. If I check and he bets, we'll talk if that happens.
So the reasons for Rampage to bet here are he can easily value bet all 9x hands here. There's plenty of other pairs that he can bet for value as well that would bet small flop, check turn, and then bet river. And this is where the full strategy comes into play, and how you construct your entire ranges, and what hands would you be betting on flop small, and then are you capable of value betting really thin on the river. You know, if you have a hand like pocket eights, or if you have a hand like 10-7, those are all very clear value bets versus this line. What does Johnny's range look like? Looks like maybe some small pairs, some ace high type hands. Maybe he has a 7x hand at best. I think maybe a 9x hand that maybe floated to the flop, like a hand like ace 9. Would those hands go for value? Probably, but not sure. But this is a spot where you can then, you know, these zero kind of equity type hands on the turn that you check back now serve as very good bluffs here. And, you know, occasionally you're going to get called. You're going to get called by some ace highs. You're going to get called by some pairs. That's okay, because you're going to have enough value to back that up as well. And that's where the kind of the overall game plan comes into play. And the thing this is what's missing a lot is, like, these situations, you get hidden when you're playing full ring, no limit. These situations don't come up that often for you. There's not as many button versus big blind hands, and this is why online players are so much more skilled than live players in general, because these situations, we play these situations over and over and over and over and over again. And whereas like somebody like Rampage, when you're playing full ring game, you're seeing, you know, low stakes, you're seeing 4 or 5 to the flop a lot of the time. You don't get in these situations where you actually have to play poker. And so you don't have to have an understanding of the ranges to win money. And that's the great part about poker.
I don't know why in my head I kind of wished him he would bet at this so I can raise it, since I do hold an 8 and I guess block the nuts straight. But considering now that he checked it back, I don't know if my line makes any sense to just fire just any amount to hope that he folds here. I guess I'm just hoping queen high is good, because I don't know if any pair is going to be folding to a river bet, because that line...
Spoiler, if queen high is good here, then it means that Johnny played his hand just atrociously, because all hands worse than queen high in Johnny's shoes should 100% be bluffing at this point.
It just makes no sense. So Yeah, we're not really repping any value or strength here, so we're going to check back and hope we're good.
Can I speed up a little? Cheers, Merrick. All right, we're going to speed through this.
Once luck.
So there's 2 hands left in the night now.
Alright, so me when my worst opens, but we're gonna go ahead and do it on the button.
Oh, definitely another hand on the border. I've been
Guys, hit that like button
against
if you haven't
Marle.
done that yet, please.
Last couple times I've had it, and this time I don't exactly have it, but I don't really love flatting from the small blind with Matt being an aggressive player in the big blind, so we're going to go ahead and take the initiative here. Even though Marley's not particularly deep, I think that she's going to be willing to fold, and if not, our hand has some playability, as obviously we have broadways. So let's spice it up to 130.
In a normal situation, this is just a fold. Now, again, like, that's me just saying that without having any idea if Johnny thinks Marley has a weak hand, whatever. But Queen 10 offsuit just a fold from small blind. You don't have to call it or anything like that.
In this late position versus small versus big, we have actually a pretty good hand to attack with. And it's been a while since we did anything. So
that's mostly what this hand is. It's been a while since I did anything.
A massive size. Probably gonna go 2.5-ish. A little under. $3.25.
Alright, so Matt kind of made my life easy here. I was honestly debating calling, even though I'm at the bottom. I'm in position, pretty deep.
I like how Johnny said she's not deep, and then she said I'm deep.
Okay.
It's funny.
I don't know. I honestly wasn't even sure what I was going to do. Obviously, it made my life a bit easier. But we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't come down all spades.
Looks like we got caught here. Not going to be going with this hand. Although definitely Matt could definitely have some bluffs here because the positional dynamics just need a little bit better of a hand, so I'm going to let it go.
Alright, so that leads up to this last hand of the night here. As you can see, I mean, this game, we played 90 hands. Lots of 3-betting, lots of 4-betting, a lot of aggressive dynamics pre-flop for sure. And it leads up to this last hand, which I don't know if you guys have all seen it yet, but it's been dissected by a bunch of different places, I think. What's up, Oliver? How's it going, man? Long time no see, man. Hope you're doing well. So standard open for Marley.
Another hand that I want to play. I have yet to flat the button, and this could be a decent spot for it. But I'm going to continue with the theme of 3-betting. I've been doing it enough, and my hand is suited. We obviously have ace high, so I'm going to continue with it. And
yeah, Johnny has to 3-bet in this table with this table situation. The reason being.
So it's pretty interesting to wake up with a hand.
The reason being is that with Matt and I both in the blinds, going to be squeezing very aggressively, and his hand just really doesn't want to be flatting and then having to deal with our squeezes. I mean, you can work in some other strategies. You can flat and then back raise. You can do some other stuff like that. But I think just generally speaking, he's going to want to be 3-betting most of the hands that he plays here against Marley's cutoff open. And then he just gets to dictate the way that things go from there. And just it's really important to be in position.
In this dynamic immediately after 4-betting light, in a very similar configuration. Really no reason not to 4-bet this hand. And we're going to be going bigger now out of position. Don't need to quite go 3x, I don't think. I think something like 2.7 and then calling off is pretty reasonable. So that's what we're going to do.
I do think that Matt should have gone slightly bigger than 270, maybe something like
It's a Groundhog Day.
325 or something.
Same thing keeps happening over and over again. I literally don't know what's going on. I was actually going to call just because, you know, I'm getting a little curious. But now I'll fold.
Definitely an interesting dynamic in play with this being a second consecutive hand. Also, him using a fairly small sizing here. Giving me a very attractive price on the button with the suited ace. 200 big blinds deep. Just can't really find a fold here, but I'm definitely going to have to be very careful post-flop navigating even ace-high boards. So we'll toss it in and
yeah, I
see
think
if we
Johnny
can
has to
figure
call
out
here with the
post.
price he's getting in position. Not much else to talk about. The one benefit, obviously, to Matt's sizing is that is going to get calls from worse hands, but I think he does want to maximize some fold equity. He doesn't mind having some weaker hands fold.
So this board is pretty interesting because we definitely have an advantage, but Johnny probably has more of the nuts than we do. I probably don't cold for queen jack a whole lot, but I can have aces, kings, tens. You can probably have tens for sure. I'm not sure if he's just ripping in with kings plus, but I think probably in this configuration he does.
I agree with that. Occasionally
Or
might
he
flat,
does, so I
but
don't wanna
mostly just
completely
jamming.
discount those. But with ace king, we can discount those pretty heavily. I think that given the nature of the board and that we're one card away from potentially having a four-liner, we can just pretty much go for a size that allows us to go somewhat small on flop. Jam turn, I think he has about 16 and change, maybe 17. So actually I could be wrong. Pot's about 570. So actually it's going to be pretty hard to get it in on two streets actually. I think given that that's the case, we still probably want to go for all three here. And probably start off with around 30% sizing. To size up turn and river, assuming that they're not terrible cards. So into 540, I'm going to bet 175.
So yeah, I don't know what the right strategy is here, to be honest with you, in these cold 4-bet spots, because when these boards come up, you have to figure out how you come up with hands to bluff with, and I guess the hands that end up bluffing these spots are hands like queens and jacks. And so when you have those hands, like to go three streets for a bluff is what I'm saying. And when you have those hands, you also, and you have these really strong value hands, you start by betting small. So that makes sense. It's hard to have just like the pure bluffs because if you're cold fouring, you don't really have many hands that you're cold fouring that are like below the 10. Most of your cold fours are hands like, you know, the ace-x suited hands. And so what is the proper strategy here? I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's betting small like this. I don't know if it's some larger bets. You can very easily bet three streets of like, you know, on good runouts of like 175, 400 all in or something like that. And then, you know, are the bluffs hands like queens and jacks? Are those the best bluffs? I guess so. Because they block a hand like ace queen, they block queen jack. It's hard to give him much ace-king. His best hands are probably like pocket tens and ace-10. And when you have queens and jacks, then you're blocking the queen-jack. I don't know. It's kind of hard to figure that all out. I know that betting very big here I don't think is very good. So I think Matt's bet is probably good.
I bet 175 into almost $600. Obviously we have a call here, but it's unfortunate that he does hold an advantage of it over us with the range. We can, it's going to be tough for us to call down, but given the fact that this is a 4-bet pot, obviously he has ace-king, he has aces, he has kings, he has tens. I can have some queen jacks here. He obviously doesn't have as many of those. I don't think that he can just bomb with impunity here because I definitely have some slow plays pre-flop. So I expect him to be fairly straight up with this one in a 4-bet pot. So I think we can safely call and evaluate turn. Hopefully we get lucky and hit a 6 or maybe turn a diamond, make our job a little easier, but for now we have a call.
This is the best turn card for Solve for Wise purposes, at least for making an interesting hand.
So this is one of those cards that obviously changes. It doesn't change the nuts per se, but it makes the nuts a lot easier to have. I don't know exactly what Johnny's 3-bet construction looks like here. If it includes, hands like Jack 10 suited, Queen Jack suited, would make a lot of sense here, and that makes this card especially bad because he can absolutely call flop with exactly those hands. He doesn't need to raise any of those hands. So for my range overall, I won't have a whole lot of Jack X here. I could maybe have Ace Jack suited, King Jack suited at some frequency, but besides that, I don't have Broadway a whole lot. So this is a pretty bad card, and one I probably am just forced to check and not really get 3 streets of value on this hand, even when I'm ahead. He also has Ace Jack in range. It's hard to know how much Jack X he does have, but it's probably a fair bit. So I think that we have to go into check mode here, and I'm honestly not that confident about at this SPR what we can realistically do as far as ever getting away from this hand. It feels sort of impossible given how high up in range I am when I don't have a lot of jacks in range. But I do have sets, so it's a little bit unclear to me how wide I'm going to go. But I think that I want to be checking here and potentially getting one more street later, potentially getting the showdown, depending on what the action is.
So I think Matt's thoughts are all really good there. Johnny definitely has a lot of Jack X hands here.
This is a very, very interesting turn card because it's clear that he does not have very many jacks here. Given that he 4-bet pre-flop, the ranges are pretty narrow, meaning that he probably has a hand like Ace King, Pocket Kings, Ace Queen, and with the SPR being that there's about 700 in the pot and I have about 1600 behind, I can't really bet here on the turn and expect him to fold any sets or 2 pairs. So what I can do is, because I hold more jacks in my hand, I can turn my hand into a bluff and move it all in for over a 2x pot shove and put him to the test with 2 pair or sets. It's pretty likely that he has 2 pair or a set here. So it's just a question of whether or not he's willing to fold those hands. And because I possess a lot of jacks in my hand that would call the flop, that would take this line, I think that he's going to find a fold enough times for me to make this play profitable. And if not, we can always hit the diamond on the river and get super lucky. We definitely hopefully don't reach to that point, but I feel fairly confident that we're going to have more jacks here and that he's going to be in a tough spot. And I think he's going to call probably 30% of the time, but we'll see. All in.
So he decided to go all in, and I guess there's a couple different things here. One, would he jam with a jack? That's the first question. He has a lot of them for sure. Would he jam with them? Second of all, because my intuition is that not really. As soon as I saw him jam, I was like, oh, he has ace x of diamonds here. I just thought he had ace deuce of diamonds or something. And I just didn't think that he'd ever jam a jack x hand here. Now maybe he will. I don't know. Me in his shoes, I would almost always bet small on turn, not small, but something like 300 to 500 on turn and jam river. Just easy play, balance as well. You're gonna get extra street of value. You're gonna get called on turn, and then you get to jam river, and it's gonna be an effective way to play your jack x hand. It's gonna be an effective way to play your bluffs as well. You're not gonna have a ton of bluffs here. You're gonna have a lot of jack x though, but it's certainly complicated. It's definitely interesting. Is jamming here good or bad? the reason I don't like jamming, I think, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just a weird spot. I don't know. With a jack, I would just never jam. I would just bet 400 or whatever, and then jam river, and do the same thing with the few bluffs that we do have. So yeah, that's the way I would kind of go about it. I don't think it's a terrible play to jam here. I think it's fine. Now we're back on Matt.
Okay, so I mean, this isn't shocking to see him press this. Can I get a count on that, please? I mean, for all the reasons I said before, he should have a lot more jackets in range. 11, higher under 12.
1685.
Well, 1685. And so there's about 920 in the pot or something like that. So this is like a little under 2x pot. My initial gut reaction is that he's just trying to really attack what is a pretty strong range of mine with his jack X for value. When I try to put him on a range here that includes bluffs, it's pretty challenging.
See, that's the true part, except for not having the ace of diamonds in our hand or the king of diamonds makes it possible. The king diamond is less relevant because I guess really it's only king jack of diamonds. I don't think he has king nine of diamonds too much, so the king of diamonds is not very relevant. But more so the ace, not having ace of diamonds gives him the ace deuce through ace nine of diamonds combos that he could be 3-betting, flatting the 4-bet with, and then peel flop, jam turn. It just seems like those are the hands. And if he's not jamming the jack X hands, then it becomes those are the hands that are heavily weighted towards that.
I think that most of his hands in range that I beat would not pick this size for value. Hands like ace queen should want to navigate to showdown as well. Hands like ace 10, if he ever has like queen 10, king 10 suited, those types of hands. Those hands don't really want to do this, so I don't think we're beating value against this sizing.
Definitely agree with that.
It's pretty polarized to a jack or nothing. And when I think about what his nothing hands are, I definitely am kind of struggling because he has a few hands in range that are 3-bets pre, can call a 4-bet that are like suited connectors.
Thank you, Nick from Yuma. Appreciate it. Everybody else hit the like button too.
I don't think any of those types of holdings really peel here.
So this is the problem that Matt was having, and this is going to happen in game. And this is not any kind of criticism of Matt's game. It's very easy to miss this thing. So, he's thinking similar to the way that I was. It's like, what are the bluffs that he can come up with here? Like, is he going to have a hand like 8-9 of diamonds? Or a hand like 7-8 diamonds? Probably not.
When you look at the arrangement of the cards on the flop, like, there's no gutters that don't get there unless they pretty much like make 2-pair. There's no like 9-8 suited that comes in and now decides to just go nuts. There are a few hands I could manufacture for sure. Hands like, maybe pocket nines peels the flop one time. But I don't even know if Johnny 3-bets those rather than calling pre. So the other issue here is like when I am behind, I'm just basically dead. I have 4 outs if I'm behind. So it's really like, do I have enough information to ever just like soul read here and make a super light call? Because this is effectively a really light call if I call. I don't think there is enough information here to suggest that I can be good nearly often enough against like a 2x sizing to call here. As much as it sucks to have basically the absolute top of my range pre and like basically the top of my range on flop, I think that this is all adding up to he's just allowed to do this with a pretty high fraction of his range because the value part of his range is so strong and the part of his range that isn't straights would just never do this for value. So is that diamonds too?
By the way, I have a jack.
Okay.
Oof. I was like, I think he has ace king, but I think he's going to fold it the majority of the time.
That was an awful last hand of the night. What the fuck?
That was great. All right, so in conclusion, yeah, I mean, this possible he could. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough hand. I'd be pretty interested to see what solvers would say about the turn play in that spot. My guess would be solvers would bet smaller on turn and then jam river, and facing jam would probably not fold the ace king, not having the ace of diamonds in the hand. If you have the ace of diamonds in your hand, then I think it's pretty clear fold. So yeah, I don't know. Tough spot for Matt. Matt played really well throughout the session. So pretty unfortunate last hand for him. Yeah, so that was fun. Let's go through some comments real quick, guys, while we're waiting for Jody to come in here. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you guys are just joining us, hit the like button. A couple quick plugs again before Jody comes in here for the episode 66 of the live stream. If you guys can, check out our podcast. Comes out every Wednesday, 5 a.m., Raising Nuts Podcast. 90 episodes so far. This last episode, we talked about some sleep. Had some fun jokes, as usual, and just the normal banter that we had back and forth. And then if you want any merchandise, go to pokerrags.us. You can get some Raising Nuts merchandise there, as well as a bunch of other nice poker clothing. All right, let's get into some comments here, guys. Let's see what we got here. Amazing how closely each player's analysis quality were so highly correlated to the ending profit and losses. Oh, that guy likes my quality, my comment, I guess. Let's see who else we got. Derek Walls. This guy, Derek Walls, he's awesome. He said, Trevor out here owning souls. I gave that one a like. You got to give that guy a like. Everybody, if you're watching the video right now, if you go to Solve for Why, make sure you click the like on that button on Derek Walls' post there, because he's smart. This is Pangiotis Callis said, these are some of the least interesting personalities you'll find in a poker game, LOL. Yeah, I mean, we have headphones on, and we couldn't really talk, so kind of hard to have the personalities go across there, you know? What's up, Kratok? How's it going? Silent Sound Guy. Nice. Trevor is my favorite. I hope he reads this on his live stream. Let's hit the like button on that one, too. Nice. Love it. Let's see what else we got. Kind of disappointed that Trevor didn't listen to heavier metal, LOL. True. Okay. These are the funny comments. This is from Knit the Grit. What's up, Agavni? Agavni in the house. Kratok said, it's really such a weird spot to jam with a jack. You can't jam them all, so which ones do you go for it with? My guess, if you do have a jam range, it would be like King, Jack of Diamonds, some random Jack 10. Yeah, I guess, this is really, it's really difficult to come up with a range for me in this spot because, like a lot of poker hands, this is kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime dynamic situation. So, you know, will he ever be in this spot again? No, he won't be, honestly. So in this spot, it's just like if he thinks he's going to get a fold from Ace King, jamming Ace 6 of Diamonds is the best play, right? I mean, in the long run, sure, I think you should be jamming some Jack X hands and maybe betting small with some. I would think the Diamond ones actually are probably better as smaller bets. And then the non-Diamond ones are better as jams. Is just my intuition. If you're going to break it apart. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I didn't like this guy. Trevor versus Landon and Matt versus Johnny are the best. Okay, thank you. All right, here we go. This is my favorite comment. I had to respond to this one. Okay. Matt R. He says, over the course of the series, I've noticed something that I knew was true, but has basically been proven. Who played the least amount of hands? Who folded the most pretty? Who played the most standard, conservative, and didn't get creative? Landon. Who won the most? ... Obviously Landon. Edited to add, oh yeah, bluffing too. Who made the fewest crazy bluffs? Okay, so I responded to this because, you know, I gotta put in my response. A better thing to note than that, who had the best pre-flop starting hands? Who won the biggest pots at Showdown, including a 4K pot with aces versus jacks? This is not a hating comment on Landon at all, just the truth. I likely had the second best starting hands. It's a 90-handed sampling, which is meaningless in terms of results. So, basically, like, yes, Landon played the tightest, for sure. He played very straightforward ABC poker. He had a lot of very good hands. He got a situation where he had aces versus jacks. He won a massive pot with ace-king versus 4-3 suited, where he called 2 streets and then hit an ace on the river. He got a great bluff spot through with 8-7 of clubs when his opponent played the hand poorly, and he got a great run out. Like, this is 90 hands. It's not any hating on Landon's play at all. His winning 2100, everyone, was a product of the hands that he was dealt in the card distribution that he received. That's just plain facts. But that's not hating on him. If Marley had received the same amount of cards, or Rampage has received the same amount of cards, would they have won the same amount as him? Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe would I have won the same amount? I don't know. Maybe I would have won more. Maybe I would have won less. You don't know. But more importantly, this has nothing to do with why he won the most in that session. The fact that he folded the most hands pre-flop or played. It was just the card distribution over 90 hands. That's it. Let's see what else we got. Let me answer some questions here. My thing is, if you jam a handful of Jack X, the idea would be to unblock opponent's top of range. We want 2-pair to call when we have a Jack. It's a clear small bet situation. Wouldn't jamming Jack X of diamonds be sort of the idea for the rare occasions you free roll versus match Jack X? I think it's okay, but like, it's just so it's so unlikely that Matt has too much Jack X when we have a Jack in our hand, that I think that situation is not as relevant. It's not as relevant. So, and like, you're still free rolling, and if you hit a diamond on the river, you're still getting paid. Like, so when you hit a diamond, you bet turn small with King Jack of diamonds, let's say. Was King Jack of diamonds a possibility? Yes, I think it was the 10 of diamonds and the Queen of diamonds were on the board. So you bet small with King Jack of diamonds, and he calls turn with a Jack. Let's say he has Ace Jack that he 4-bet, and you hit a diamond on the river and you jam. You're still going to get called. So you're still realizing your free roll. What's up, John? How's it going? Well the way, man. Let's see what else we got here. Question, how long does 80 hands take to record? I answered this one. We played 90 hands. It took 9 hours with a 1-hour dinner break and several shorter breaks. I wonder if some of these guys would play this way if they were not on camera. Like cold 4-bet with King 4 suited. Like, really, Matt? Yeah. I mean, in these dynamics of this game, sure. The camera doesn't mean anything. All right, I think we got all the comments that I wanted to get to there. Jody should be coming in shortly for episode 66. I'm hoping. I hope she's got Andrew in bed soon, and we'll start our live stream here. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. For me, I'm happy to answer anything. I'm considering next week, guys. We'll see what my schedule's like next Thursday. I got to see, but I'm considering doing an online play every hand for an hour. This was Matthew Fritch's idea. Old school style. Me and Anthony Latanzi, that's here in the chat, he used to watch me do the play every hand challenge all the time. I have to figure out how to stream again onto YouTube, but I'll sit at maybe like 25 cent, 50 cent and play every hand. No folding pre-flop unless there's a 3-bet or an all-in, all the normal stuff, and do that for an hour leading up to the live stream until Jody's ready to go. If you guys are up for that, let me know. Just type a 1 in the chat or something. If you guys think that's a good idea. If you're here, type a 1 in the chat if you want me to do a play every hand before the live stream next week. Jody's here now. Welcome, Jody. 10 hands per hour translates into how many hands per hour for you in PLO online? Well, let's see. I probably play like maybe 300 or 400 hands per hour online now because I don't play that many tables anymore, so whatever that equates to. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's make this bigger. There it is. Oh, look at that. Popping right onto the stream with a yawn. Welcome to episode 66 of the live stream. Guess what, Jody? It's almost episode 69 of the live stream. Should we have Mike Trout on for that? Just like we did for the podcast?
whatever you want.
What's up, Rick? Hope you're doing well.
Who's just pulled in our driveway?
I don't know. John said, would you do more Solve for Why content? Yeah, I would definitely love to do another Poker Out Loud stream with them or something. It would be fun. Okay, Marek, yeah, send me whatever you want. Anthony said, hello, Jody.
Hi.
Can I make it a Play Every Hand online meetup? That's a good question. I don't know if... I mean, if you want to come on to Stars and play on Stars, you can do that. Agavni said hi, too.
So did John.
Oh, yeah, and John.
Hi, Gavni. I miss you, too.
Yeah, I don't know how we can do it as a meetup, though. Marek said, hello, Jody. How are your feet? Did Trevor massage them enough since last time we talked about them?
They're just fine. I'm getting a pedicure on Saturday.
Yes. Listen to Silent Sound Guy. Silent Sound Guy, employee of the podcast. Like button, y'all. Hit it.
He is not an employee of the podcast. He's not. Excuse me. I do all the editing, not Silent Sound Guy. We're not passing that off and that he does the work. No. I do it. Me.
Okay. What do you want to talk about tonight on the live stream, Jody? How are you feeling?
Did you see Sound Guy's comment on the software?
Yeah, I mentioned it on the stream here. Good job.
I saw it earlier.
Good job, Silent Sound Guy. I gave it the like. I gave it the live like. I clicked the button there.
Nice.
And there's also somebody who wrote Trevor out here beasting guys or whatever.
Yeah, I saw.
I told everybody.
Wasn't it Owning Souls?
Whatever. Yeah, I told everybody to go and like that immediately because it makes me feel good. What's up, Jonathan? How's it going? He said, what's up, Trevor? Love your vlog. Jersey got the best poker players. Jody, you think you could beat Trevor at heads up?
No, I don't play poker. So definitely not.
Marek said, good, haha, nice hair, by the way. I met my wife at school and she had this exact hair then. Jody, you look cute with your hair braided in pigtails.
This is Trevor's favorite. I have 2 French braids.
That's my favorite haircut of Jody's.
It's not a haircut.
Favorite hairstyle.
But they're French braids. I don't have like braid pigtails. They're French braids.
Yeah, I did it. I French braided her hair.
You didn't. I did it on the way to the gym today.
All right, I just talked for an hour and a half. What do you want to talk about? How was the bathing and getting to sleep?
It was not pleasant as usual.
Okay. Great.
But everybody's in bed except for Ava, so that's good news.
Do you think that I should make some live poker vlogs again? The people seem to want some live poker vlogs.
Yes, you asked me this already. I said yes.
Should I wait till I get the second shot, or should I just go now?
It's up to you.
The biggest problem is like when would I go? The schedule, my schedule's booked constantly.
Yeah, I don't know. This schedule needs to it needs to slow down. It's out of control. I feel like I can't get it myself together because it's just so hectic.
That's what our entire podcast, episode 90 of the podcast that I've already plugged twice.
Yes.
That's what it was all about.
I hate sitting in this chair next to you.
Do you want to sit in this chair?
No, it's just like...
Oh, because you're like a lot smaller than me?
Yes.
It seems like everybody's digging the hair, Jody. Kratok, his lady's Native American, so she does braids quite a bit.
Oh, nice. I just, I didn't feel like doing my hair, and I'm tired of wearing it in a bun at the gym because it gets in the way. Like, if I wear it in a low one, then when I try to lay down and do something, it gets in the way. And when it's up here, it drives me crazy. So I just decided to put it in braids today. And also because I know Trevor likes it, so. How can anybody even tell? It's like blending into the thing.
I know, that's crazy. Daniel put the yawn over-under at -3.7 for Jody. He said Yanks, but I think he meant yawns. His phone, because he's a Yankees fan, it autocorrects the Yanks. That's pretty great.
That's great.
So Jonathan said, yes, more live poker vlogs, play a session at Park so I can make you go broke. So the problem with going to any of the PA casinos is that I can't film there because they have big problems of... wait... We're constantly talking about sleeping on top of me. The PA, they have big problems with the Casino Control Commission as far as doing any kind of filming in the casino. I really should probably. If our schedule wasn't so hectic, I would love to reach out to either Rivers, because I know the poker room manager there now, or the new Philly Live, and just have like a weekly or a or a every other week game like that I ran there. And if I could film it, that'd be amazing. But I think it would make for some great content and bring a lot of people in, and it'd be a good time. It's just a matter of time. I just don't have the time to do it. Like my schedule is legitimately fully booked every single day. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to play poker.
Oh, my feet are falling asleep.
It's hard to play poker like 180 hours a month already, and then have 3 kids who have activities, have a wife that needs to be pleased constantly, and what? It's like like I clean up around the house. We take care of each other.
Really?
Like that. What? I don't mean that in any kind of negative way. I just mean like we're doing things constantly for each other.
I didn't take it that way. I didn't take it in a negative way.
Yeah. Oh, how'd you take it?
You said you have a wife that needs to be pleased constantly.
And a husband who also needs to be like we please each other constantly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right, we're getting a lot of questions here. Let's see. Would anyone in this live stream volunteer to sleep on top of Trevor for relaxation? And then Silent Sound Guy said, who would volunteer for that? Funny enough, Daniel Kim, Silent Sound Guy has already volunteered for that. Yeah, I know you have to sneak film in AC, John, but it's not as strict. What's going on, Ed? Ed is in the house. Happy Thursday to you, Ed. Did you enjoy Jody Thinks this week? Let me know. Mother Teresa and Richard Simmons are playing 20 questions. Richard Simmons gets the word hot cock.
No, it doesn't say that.
Yes, it does.
No.
Hot C asterisk CK.
Is he just typing it like that so he gets it through? I'm confused.
I don't know. Mother Teresa asks, is it something you eat? Richard Simmons, sometimes. Mother Teresa, is it hot cock?
I don't get it.
I
don't get it.
I don't know. This is this, Anthony. All I know is that I see MT and I think Mike Trout. All right, Marek, you do it, man. Daniel said that's 3 yanks already, Jody. Jonathan said I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. You think I'm sleeping on the couch because of what I said? No, right? Okay.
No. We had a misunderstanding here. I'm not upset with him. I took it to mean that you were like saying sexual things.
Oh, no.
Because you said you have a wife that needs to be pleased all the time.
I mean, that is true, but I was not that's not what I was insinuating. I just meant as in like, there's a lot we do for each other all day long.
That's not what you said, though. You
pleased.
said,
you
said, oh, you have a wife that needs to be pleased. You did not say we do things for each other.
Okay, well, I just fixed that.
Mm-hmm.
Kratok said, I feel you with busy, went for baby checkup, then drove 3 hours ago rafting, got home at 11, took care of animals, up for 6 for work, and just clocked out. Normal day. Yeah, man.
Jeez.
Like, I'm very happy with my efficiency throughout the day. Like, I get stuff done. I'm very productive. I work a lot. I spend a lot of time with kids. I do a lot of dish cleaning. I do a lot of cooking. I do a lot of taking the kids to activities. So I'm happy with how my day is structured. But to find time to go film somewhere and then make a video out of it, that's the tough part. You did not Yes, you did. You volunteered.
No, because he's saying it's not a volunteer. He wants to get paid.
Oh, that's right.
Except you're not on the payroll. You don't get paid for shit because you don't do shit for me. I do it. We've already clarified this. Thank you.
Yeah, Tom. So Tommy Bates is leaving. Yes, I know that. So Jim, the new poker manager, I know from Parks for a long time. So I if the schedule can open up at some point, I'd love to be able to have like, even if it's just a monthly game, like a 3-blind monthly game that's similar to like the Sahara game or something. That would be pretty cool. Ed said, yes, I did. I'm loving the podcast. That's awesome.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Ed. Ed is talking about the Raisin Nuts podcast. I've only plugged it 3 times now. Let's go for a 4th. If you like it, go to Apple and leave a review.
My eyes are
Do
so
that.
red. It looks like I'm crying.
Sound Guy said, I need to get paid. You need to have some skin in the game. Sound Guy would only sleep on top of Trevor if he's on the Raisin Nuts podcast payroll. All right, Marek, take care. See you, buddy.
Bye.
He said, I'm already on the payroll. I need a raise. Daniel said, Trevor's wannabe subtle innuendos are hilarious. Have you guys ever watched The Queen's Gambit on Netflix? No, we have not watched that yet. Jody just finished watching You, seasons 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it.
It was great, although disturbing.
Yeah, so I watched all of season 1, and I couldn't watch anymore because So we have the only time of our life that we're not doing things is like that hour before we go to bed, pretty much.
Yep.
And it's just like I couldn't even do anything during that time anyway. I'm just we're decompressing.
Yep.
And I can't watch shows like that just take over my dreams and I don't sleep. Any other new popular show? Is there any other shows that you want to get into watching?
I think he's saying, have you guys watched Queen's Gambit on Netflix or any other new popular show?
Oh, yes. Okay.
No.
Well, we watched
never.
You.
Yes, we watched You. That was it. But I rarely have time to watch TV. I'm usually moving from the time I get up until the time I go to bed.
Trevor, you said you do a lot of cooking. What's your favorite dish to cook for the family? So, currently, we all have very different dietary wants.
Oh, my God.
So, I do a lot of the cooking for myself currently because I get these Green Chef meals, so I quite enjoy cooking them. I do like making steak, which I made today. I butchered it. It was a terrible steak. Sorry, Jody, for your dinner.
It's okay.
I will repent for my sins. And it was just bad. But yeah, generally I like making steak and like a good veggie. I love broccoli, so broccoli is one of my favorite foods out there. When Jody makes tacos, we talked about this in the podcast. I love Jody's tortillas. She makes a great tortilla. And apparently that was a sexual innuendo also at some point.
What?
On the podcast.
It was?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Anthony said, someone asked me, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make when you had kids? I laughed in his face and walked away.
I don't get it.
Yeah, because it just changes your entire life. There's no like adjustment. Your whole life is adjusted.
I don't know. We've had kids for so long. I don't remember what it was like to not have kids.
Seriously. I need Jody Thinks tonight. We can do Jody Thinks. If you guys want to start, let's play some Jody Thinks to wrap this up to finish out the night here. Are there enough people here with us tonight to even play Jody Thinks? I don't know. Let's see. You guys are going to have to do the heavy lifting. Daniel, Anthony, sound guy, you guys are all going to have to do the heavy lifting on Jody Thinks here. Okay? So the way Jody Thinks works, you can't sleep on the... You slept on the podcast this week.
You slept on the podcast.
You can't sleep on the live stream too. Okay. So the way Jody Thinks works...
resting my eyes.
You put a word, a phrase, or a question in the chat, and then Jody will give you her immediate, unfiltered thoughts, and then we'll have a conversation about it. You guys feel free to spam as many as you want because there's not a lot of people in here right now. Apparently not enough people hit the like button. I only asked 15 times. So
I did.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you guys that are here to really spam a lot of different words and thoughts and questions for Jody that'll keep her awake and get some conversation going. So let's go. Put them in the chat and we'll get to go with it. I see one so far. Sound I said, kids and I got Pfizer number 2 today. Nice. I'll answer this question while we let yours add up here. From Cray Talk, any poker dreams at this point in your career? Accomplishment-wise, banking the main doesn't count. Do I have any poker dreams left? This is kind of sad, but I don't really think so. Honestly, my poker dream is that everything can just continue on the way it is exactly right now. Like if I can keep the grind that I have right now going on indefinitely until I can just retire, probably like 5 years from now, 5 or 10 years from now, then I would love it. I like what I do every day. I like getting up, playing early in the morning, playing for 6 to 8 hours straight with the people that I get to play with and the games that I get to play in shorthanded. And that's about it. I mean, anything that comes with tournaments is a bonus, but like I don't really care about them that much. It'd be cool. It's fun. The main event is great just because it's fun to be deep in it. It's fun to have the chips in front of you, and obviously it's fun to like win a tournament and stuff like that. But I never expect to. Like it's would just be a complete bonus if that were to ever happen. And I'd also have to actually play a tournament again for that to happen. So seems unlikely. It's not really. There's not really I feel like I've already lived the poker dream. Like I've played poker for a living for 16 years. I've been able to support my family. I've been able to.
How's that possible? You're terrible.
Yeah.
You're like you're just a wreck player and you're not any good at it. And
yeah, I know. Well, maybe one day though, if I put in the study out, maybe I could get better.
Yeah, you have potential, but you have to study.
Yeah, I'll study. I mean, I study every day still. That's the difference. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've already kind of lived the poker dream. Like I've been able to do this Been able to be there for the most important moments in my kids' lives so far. And I feel like I've been a better dad and a better husband because of poker, because of the flexibility that I've had with poker. So, I think it's about it.
I can't
Okay.
sit still.
Swizzle stick.
What the hell is that?
Believe it or not, that's from Ed. So it makes sense that you don't know what it is. You don't know what a swizzle stick is? Let's see. Let's look it up. Swizzle stick. Swizzle stick. Oh, it's just... What?
Yeah, like a stir?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. It makes me think of Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts because they put them. Well, actually, did you see? You know how Starbucks puts like the thing in there to keep it from splashing out.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know.
And it's like a long stir.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice the things that Dunkin' puts in theirs?
No.
When you take it out, so like the Starbucks one is like this. When you take out the Dunkin' one, it's like this.
Oh, really?
It's just specifically to stop the splash.
Jack King off.
It makes me think of poker.
You gotta talk louder. You're...
It makes me think of poker.
Jacking off does?
That's so stupid.
Magic wand.
Harry Potter.
Dear Jody letters. I don't know what that means. Great doc.
That sounds creepy. That sounds like some stalker shit.
Like if you got a letter that said Dear Jody.
Yeah.
Cowgirl, not album version.
What?
Remember we had Doggy Style on the podcast, the album?
Oh.
Cowgirl, not the album version. He said album. Album.
Oh, yes, album.
I'm like out of the screen here. What's going on? All right, there we go. What's cowgirl make you think of?
Sex.
Okay.
Obviously.
Anthony says, what do you refer to sex as when you talk to each other? Bang, bone, F, bump uglies?
I guess it depends on what we're talking about.
Okay. And what kind it's going to be?
No, I don't. No, but
Making love?
What kind of conversation are we having? I think it depends on the conversation that we're having. First of all, what are the options?
Bang, bone, F, bump uglies.
The only one of those words that I use is the F word.
Yeah, you said bang sometimes.
I mean, if I'm being like ridiculous, I don't seriously refer to it like
Can we
that.
make love?
I never say that.
Yeah, that's why I said it, because it depends on the type. And so,
right,
therefore...
No, I never say that.
Slip and slides.
Dangerous. Just so dangerous.
David Newton came in and said exercise, I believe. I assume he's concerned.
What?
That's what sex is referred to as. I don't know if David Newton is that's what he's saying.
Okay.
Jody smashed the over on Yanks for tonight.
Yeah.
All right. When was the last time you peed your pants?
So last time I peed my pants?
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was a kid, baby.
You didn't ever accidentally do it recently?
No, I have not peed my pants anytime recently.
You're not cool if you don't pee your pants. Lottery tickets, aka scratchers.
Oh, they're so annoying because they fake you out, and then you think you get excited, you think you won something, and then you didn't, or maybe you won $3, and I'm not taking a $3 lottery ticket and cashing it in. This is nonsense.
Believe it or not, 18-year-old Trevor was addicted to lottery scratch-offs. We used to go to the store all the time, and I would just barrel through dollars. Didn't do well.
I think they're stupid.
How about just lotto?
Well, dumb, because my husband here has beat it into my brain 1,000,000 times that the lottery is the worst thing ever.
RoboCop.
I don't think I ever saw that, but it makes me picture a RoboCop.
Cornholio.
Oh my god. This makes me think of was it local?
Yeah, it was a local thing.
On Facebook, there was a police department that was looking for someone, and he, it was like this surveillance video, and he had his shirt up like that in the surveillance video, and the cops posted that something, they made a joke about how he does not go by the name Cornholio or something like that, and it was just the funniest thing to see.
What is Trevor's ideal butt shape?
Big. Big. I don't know. Is that right?
I mean, I like it. I like it firm.
Sticks out far.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, not like big.
Okay, you could just answer. You could just say mine.
Mine.
Yeah, that's right. How about what is my ideal butt shape for my butt?
I don't know. What kind of butt do you want?
I don't know. I never had one before.
Right
That's what we
now
talked
you
about.
have one that's like this big.
It's getting bigger though by the day.
You're gonna grow it.
Yeah.
We're gonna sprout.
We're gonna have a nice big juicy butt for you.
A juicy booty.
Ice cream with a whipped cream with a cherry on top.
No, those cherries are freaking nasty. Don't put that shit on my ice cream.
IBTC. I don't know what that stands for, Daniel Kim.
IBTC? Is that like a Bitcoin?
I don't know what that is.
Something?
What does that stand for, Daniel Kim? Josh said the best screen name I've ever seen is Jacking Off 24/7. That's great. Sound guy said, imagine getting that hand in Big O. That's great.
I don't even know what
Big O is a 5-card game. You get Jack King 247. Boff.
That was always the weirdest term. How come you're on the side of the picture again?
I know. I don't know.
What are you doing?
Keep moving on over.
I always hated that term. Like when that was popular.
I didn't even know that was a term. What does it mean?
It means bang.
Oh. You want a boff?
No, I hate that term. I hate it so much. I see how you just snuck your arm around me.
Like that? I saw you saw it on that replay, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Smooth. A men's cologne called Elon's Musk.
Ew! That's gross. No, that does not sound appealing at all.
Do you like my musk?
Mm-hmm.
You like my musk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like your musk, not Elon's musk.
Listen, there's a lot of like provocative things going on this channel tonight. We might have to switch this over to our OnlyFans page.
Did you see in Slack with the hooker thing? I responded. Did
No.
you see my response?
No.
I said I like to be a hooker every day.
Oh, nice. Alrighty. Hey, what's up, Michael Ryder? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. He said, I've never won more than $20 in the scratchers. I'm trying to think what my biggest win was. I'm sure I'm down heaps lifetime in the scratch offs. Ben Adler said hello to you, Jody.
Hi, Ben.
Daniel said Trevor wants to be bootylicious. All right. Marek says sharks all over the place and you're the only fish to be eaten with nowhere to go.
Sounds terrible. I don't know. That makes me think of death and dying. It's awful.
Okay.
I mean, it's a shark. I'm the only fish, and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Okay.
That's it.
Anybody else have any more Jody Thinks to get in, or any other questions for me or for Jody here?
My shoulder is sore.
Your shoulder's sore?
Both of them.
The floor is lava.
Oh, God. Our kids do that. It drives me crazy.
It's been a long time since they've done it.
Cause but I'd be walking around trying to get stuff done, and they're like, "Mom, the floor is lava." And I'm like, "No, the floor's not lava. The floor's wood, and I'm walking on it. I got things to do."
Sound guy said I've maybe bought 100 scratchers in my life. One was $20, and I won $200. So it sounds like you're running pretty hot there, sound guy. Maybe you should stick with that. Keep doing that instead of playing poker. Sounds like you're winning.
Oh my God.
Ben Adler said, my wife likes to talk after sex, so she calls me.
Oh my God.
That's a good one. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
He's saying that his wife has sex with other people.
Yeah, is that what he's saying?
And then call him. That's pretty funny.
Look, it keeps looking like I'm crying.
Why are you crying?
I'm not crying. I'm yawning, and I have no makeup on at all. Nothing. Totally barefaced this evening.
Michael said I was doing algebra homework with my son, so basically a no-hold-barred steel cage match. I can imagine that, Michael, man. This math homework stuff is rough. Like, it's so bad for me, too, because, like, if they don't give an example of how it's done, then I just have to go into my way of doing it, which is like, yeah, I'll figure this out. Which then I teach Cam, like, yeah, this is how you figure it out. I don't know if this is how they're teaching it, but this is how you figure it out. And she's like down with that. That's why she likes me teaching her math, because I'm like, yeah, just do this. It's like a trick.
Me.
This is the trick to do.
I don't like to teach math anyway.
Yeah. Sewn torch on doggy sounds very phallic, and even more when Jody said it belongs in mouth.
What?
He said that the torch on doggy, the torch sounds like a phallic thing, and it was even more.
Christ. No, it's literally a torch. It's not. There's nothing phallic about it. It is it's the Statue of Liberty's torch, and I can't show you what it looks like because doggy is currently sleeping with Andrew.
Everybody's mind's in the gutter. Always. There's something about our stream that just puts people's mind in the gutter for some reason. Ed said, any meetup games planned? None yet. I know that Johnny and Matt, was it Johnny and Matt? Or Rampage. Johnny and Rampage are having one in May or whatever. I was thinking that we can't go to that anyway, because we're going to be gone before that. And yeah, just need to work. Gotta work.
Yeah, I need to work too.
Yeah. New pro. Oh wait, we missed Anthony's. Lease is up on our 2 Hyundais. Trying to decide between two more or one lease on a nicer vehicle and buying one used. A or B. Okay, so wait. Trying to decide between 2 more or one lease on a nicer vehicle. Okay, so 2 more leases or one. I got it. Okay.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. So this is the first time in our life that we don't have a car payment. It was because we bought 2 cars at the same time in 2016 and 2015. What year was it that we were down the shore?
We bought them in 2015, but they're 2016s.
Yeah, so 2015. That's the year we were down the shore with those guys? That's crazy. So they were paid off in 5 years. And so we haven't had a car payment in like the last 8 months, and it's great. I love it. And we're going to go for a little bit longer without having car payment for sure, at least on we're definitely not going to have 2 car payments at once. We're going to have the Accord for forever because we don't even really need a second car for now. Quit whining. You'll be okay.
Did you like my gift today?
It was great.
Trevor had to take the Pilot that I really hate because that's the one that the brick came through the windshield. And I was driving on the highway on, what was that? Monday? No, Tuesday. It was Tuesday. That's the day Cam had to get a COVID test. And so we were...
Did you talk about this on the podcast or no? I think you did at the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can keep going.
So we were driving on the highway coming home, and all of a sudden I heard... Why is the printer making noises?
It does this all the time.
So all of a sudden I heard this noise, like something was hitting the roof of the car. And I was like, what the hell is that? And I started to panic because I didn't know what it was. And for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, I just was mentally picturing a human being up there, like hitting the roof of the car. I don't know how that would happen, but so I panicked a little bit, and I was pretty close to the exit that I needed to take to get home. So I just got off the exit that I was coming up to, and it ended up being the weather stripping at the top of the windshield, which is the windshield that got replaced when the brick went through it. So Trevor had to take it. What the hell was I telling this story? Oh, so Trevor had to take it today to get it fixed because the weather stripping was just flopping around and, it's awful. So he took it to the glass place today to have it fixed. And, I was talking to you, right? And I said, like, what's up with it? And you said, oh, he's fixing it now. It just has to be glued back in. And I sent a gif of a girl like touching a Tesla, and it happened to be a white one too, which is what I want. A white Tesla, and she was touching it, rubbing it.
Here's what we can do. If we get Sound Guy to buy us some scratch off lottery tickets, he's a new pro scratcher sunrunner. And then if we win enough, we can get a Tesla. Michael lost the battle against his son. Yeah, we're gonna lose. You're gonna lose sometimes, Michael. It's gonna happen.
I always lose the battle against the kids with the homework. It's a freaking nightmare.
Ben said he got his first dose of the vaccine the other day. Very easily got an appointment via Walgreens. If you guys are having issues getting an appointment, try them out. Jody and I got our first shot last week. I actually just noticed
You got a
today,
big bruise.
I got a bruise up there. Look at that. See that?
I don't.
Wait, why is it not coming? There it is, right? Yeah.
I got mine here. No bruise. I know you can't really see because of this, but I don't have a bruise. Also, I asked you what time my next appointment was, and you didn't answer me, so now I'm going to get it. Look.
Okay. Daniel said he was gifted $100 in scratch-offs for his 30th.
What the
And he won
fuck?
$400. Let's see. You're a Sunrunner too. Nice. Merrick said you look very nice without makeup. I like my wife having makeup when she's doing something special, but I love her in the morning.
Thank you. Trevor seems to enjoy when I'm like sick and I just look like I'm half dead and like my hair's all over the place and I have sweatpants on and I come like down the stairs like a zombie, and that's usually what he says, "Wow, you look so hot." And I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
I say that all the time though too.
Well,
I also
you
tell you
do.
look hot all the time.
You do. But like you say it in those moments too, and I'm just like, "What?"
Kratok said, "I think we need a new segment where Trevor mansplains." That's pretty much every episode of the podcast, right? Yeah. Daniel said, Trevor has a beautiful wife when she could have a naked face tonight and still be gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm on side B here, Anthony. Go for one buy. I would buy both, honestly.
You should just get 2 new cars.
Jody, what do you think about cooking overall? Is Trevor liking it more, or you do? And do you like to say to him you're wrong to him when he is, and be proud after when he messes up? My wife loves it.
I hate cooking anymore. I used to love it. I used to cook all the time, but I have passed all the cooking duties on to Trevor. I taught him everything I knew about cooking and cutting and all that stuff, and everything I know about nutrition I've passed on to him. And I don't mind talking about nutrition, but I don't really enjoy cooking anymore. It depends. Sometimes I'll get into the mode where I want to make something, and then I, make some crazy thing if I get like an idea. But otherwise, I just don't want to stop what I'm doing to start cooking food because, well, right now, like, I can't eat anything anyway. So I really don't want to cook. And then as far as telling him he's wrong when I don't like that. Like to, say like, told you so, or you're wrong, haha. Nah.
I mean, also, like, how often am I wrong, really?
All the time.
That's true. Sound guy said we own both our cars, but I make payments on my Xbox. Nice.
Oh my god.
It seems like the poker vlogger community is pretty small, tight. Do you regularly converse with Brad, Andrew, Rampage, or whoever? I would say, so Brad and Andrew I both will talk to occasionally. Occasionally I'll get a text from one of them with a question, or just we'll chat about something. If we're in Vegas, we'll definitely hang out with them. You probably talk to them more than I do, actually.
I talk to Andrew the most.
Yeah. Rampage I don't really talk to too often. When we were up in Springfield last year, we hung out with him for a bit, and then obviously at the Software Y thing, hung out with him. Trying to think if there's any. Check Race Charles probably talked to the most because he's in the DGF community.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
I don't know. The last text I got from Andrew was a picture of Califia Farms creamer.
Nice. There you go.
And he was mad because they didn't have his flavor that he likes.
Printers.
Oh my god. Printers make me so angry. I spent so much time printing stuff because I used to make wedding invitations for people. And I can't tell you how many problems I've had with printers and wanted to smash every single one of them to pieces. And now this current one that we have, I would like to smash to pieces and get rid of it.
Tom got his first shot yesterday. Good, Tom. Hopefully you're feeling well. What's up, Chili Dog in the house? He said he wants a gunmetal Tesla.
I like, so I want a white Tesla. That's not changing. But I was just telling Trevor that I am starting to really like the, it's not matte gray, like, as in there's no shine on it, but there's no sparkle in it. So it's, a sparkle-free gray, not super dark, but not light either. It's kind of in the middle, and it's becoming really popular, and I see it all over the place now, and I'm starting to really like it. But I still just want a white Tesla. I've been asking for a white car for years. I'm like, can you just get a white one? And then Trevor comes home from the dealership with anything but white every time.
They haven't had it. What
and I sound like an ass because, So for my birthday, what was it? Probably my 26th birthday. Trevor bought me, Jesus Christ, poker rags, nonstop things.
Where you can get clothing?
Yes.
It's really comfortable?
Pokerrags.us.
Whoa, that's
Apparently
amazing.
they are just shipping like left and right.
We have a lot to get caught up on here.
But
so
anyway,
gotta
okay, so okay, so for my 26th birthday, Trevor surprised me with an Infiniti G37, which at the time was my dream car, but it was in this weird ass color, and I was like, "Oh, what is this color?" Like, thank you so much. I love the car. It is beautiful.
The blue one? That blue one was beautiful car. That was a beautiful car.
I did not like the color.
It was a beautiful color.
It was this like gray blue, like a slate color.
Yeah, it was nice.
Fine.
It was a beautiful color.
Then when it was time to trade that in, then we got the Armada. That was like a dark gray, so that was fine. And then it was time to trade in my Infiniti, because I was driving the Armada at that point because we had 2 kids. So it was time to get rid of the Infiniti. He got another one, and he came home, and it was fucking silver. Oh my God. I hate silver cars. And then when we got rid of we got rid of the Infiniti and the Armada at the same time, right? And we got these 2. And I can you please just get a white one? And he came home with 2 black cars. So that's what we have, 2 black cars, which is fine. Again, I know that's first world problems and I sound like an ass. I just want a white car, and I've been asking for one, and he keeps coming home with every other color.
You know what you're going to get it for?
My 40th? No! I don't want to wait until I'm 40. That's not close enough.
We have Hondas. They last forever. You're lucky that we're going to get rid of them in 2 years.
Like I tell you all the time, I will take my ass on over to the dealership. There's one not that far away from our house, and I will purchase the Tesla on my own.
Dad joke. Why do you not give Elsa birthday balloons to carry home for the party? Because she will let it go. Chili wants us to get it for him. Wants me to get it for him after I get yours, maybe.
Oh, sure.
How are our side effects? I felt like garbage all day yesterday, but today's really fine. I was a little tired here and there, but mostly fine.
Oh my God.
Anthony's look at the Kia Sorento. Never gave AF about cars, but I want this one. Damn consumerism. Don't effing need it. Kia Sorento, thoughts?
My brother and sister-in-law just got the Kia. Is it a Kia?
I think so.
Telluride. They just got one of those, and it's like black. The grill is black. The letters, everything's black on it. It's actually really, really nice.
Where are we at here?
Oh, my arm won't stop itching.
Michael hit $400 on the PA skill games the other day. That's awesome. Nice. Is the bruise from the shot, or because you said something silly and Jody punched you?
Believe it or not, I am not abusive. I do not punch Trevor. The last thing I want to do in life is hurt Trevor. I don't want to hurt him physically. I don't want to hurt him mentally. I don't want to hurt him emotionally. I don't want to hurt him at all.
I'm very sensitive.
Yeah, I don't beat Trevor. I know that might be shocking to people,
Somehow
but I
you
don't.
keep pushing me over further out of the screen now.
My arm is itching.
Kraytok said he sun runs sometimes, won $10 on a free roll, ran it up to 60 on a PLO table, handed the phone to his fiance for 5 minutes while I pumped up the raft. She handed it back and I was busted. That's pretty funny. Marek said he thinks his wife looks very sweet in such a situation like you described. That's what I meant. Good banter with that answer when I'm wrong. All the time sounds like my wife too. Jody, since you schooled Trey Mommy everything he knows about cooking and nutrition, would you be okay if he quit poker and became a professional line cook?
No, because we would lose our house and all of our stuff.
He just said sphincter say what? Michael, what happened to Jamin Burton? Haven't seen nothing from him. So Jamin actually did an interview on Andrew Neamy's second channel, if you want to check that out, about what he's been up to. It's Andrew Neamy 2, T-O-O. And he moved up to Vegas, and he's just been chilling since the pandemic. I think he said he's going to start doing some videos again soon. Did not hear about that, John. That stinks. I mean, it's going to happen, but obviously it sucks that it happens with autopilot on or whatever, but like the amount of accidents that happen just on a normal basis, you got to weigh the pros and cons, obviously. He will be back to vlogging soon, I think so. Sherry says, wait for Congress to pass the 7K EV tax credit. That's what we'll do.
We have a hybrid right now. We have a hybrid Accord, but you also skipped John here. He said you hear about the fatal Tesla.
I just said that.
You did?
Yes.
didn't
I
know
just
that. But
talked about that.
I thought there was nobody in the car.
I didn't see what happened.
I thought there was no one in the car. Like the car crashed, but I thought that nobody was in it.
Daniel said, you expect Jody to wait 10 years till she is 40 to get her dream car? Telluride is nice. Sorrento is slightly smaller. New mode is pretty sexy. New model, he's saying. So. Good night, John. See you
Good
next
night,
week.
John.
Stay safe as well.
Oh, no,
and
there were people
we're finally
inside
caught
of
up
it.
here.
It's terrible.
Chili said, my youngest says hi to your middle kid.
Okay. Don't they have names?
Well, maybe he doesn't want to say names. So.
Okay. Well, our middle kid is known. Her name is known.
Is she sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's wrap this up because I'm ready.
Oh, no one was driving. See, I saw no one was driving the vehicle, and I thought that meant no one was in it. I thought it was like a test of some sort, but no, there were 2 people inside
It's
of it.
sad.
Yeah, that's awful.
All right, so guys, we're wrapping this up here. If you're watching the replay, make sure you've already hit the like button. As always, if you can, check out the podcast, Raising the Nuts, on all podcast platforms, Apple, Stitcher, anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Go to there, search for Raising the Nuts, and listen. 90 episodes have come out so far. We love it. It's our favorite thing to do every week. And check that out. Leave us a review if you can on Apple, because that would mean a lot to us. And if you want to pick up some merchandise, you can go to pokerrags.us. I'm going to burp. And what else, Jody? What else can I do? Anything else? You guys can follow us on social media if you want.
Yes, you could do that. And Daniel, I told you to send me a DM about it. You have to actually do it to start the conversation. Send me a DM and we will discuss.
Michael, I haven't played any live poker lately. The last time I played live poker was the Solve for Why thing. So, yeah.
I'm going to force him.
Maybe I'm going to find a window here that I can go make a video, and then I'll put it out for you guys. But yeah, see you guys next week. Listen to the podcast next week, and hopefully we'll have some... Oh yeah, maybe. Stay tuned to my social medias. If I'm going to do the play every hand thing, I'll let you guys know. It'll be 7:30 next week. Depends on what our kids' schedule is. I don't know if they have any games or anything. So if they don't have any games, then we'll do it. All right? Sound good? Sound good? All right.
Sounds good.
Love you guys. Marek, take care. See you. Daniel says we need to plan something big for episode 100 of the podcast. Okay? All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys.